Hello everybody, welcome to Review a Day, episode number 129, for Monday, February the 16th, 2009. Hello everybody, welcome to Review a Day, the video blog where I review a movie at least once a week. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I wanted to mention at the top of the podcast that, this isn't my podcast, that I watched the film Kids for the first time today, the 1995 Larry Clark film starring Chloe Sevigny, Rosario Dawson, and Leo Fitzpatrick from The Wire. He plays the criminal informant Bubbles' best friend who's also addicted to heroin and everything like that. I don't know if I liked this movie or not. It's really, really fucked up and incredibly effective. It's one of those films where all the characters across the board pretty much make horrible decisions every single step of the way, and it has a lot of teenagers getting drunk like all day long and smoking pot and stuff like that, like out in public. So I think that part of the film is a little bit ridiculous, but I think the core of what this film is trying to get across, which is that feeling of youth and being invincible, is very disturbing and comes across in this film. And being 21 and kind of knowing people who do act like this, it was incredibly effective. I don't know if I liked it though, so kids, if you want to see something really disturbing and that will make you want to take a nap afterwards, see Kids. It's a good time. The film I'm going to be reviewing for you guys today is the new Friday the 13th film. This is directed by Marcus Nispel, who also did the Texas Chainsaw Massacre a few years back, I think in 04 or 05, sometime like that. The film stars Danielle Panabaker, Jared Padalecki, Dean of Gilmore Girls. I think I've talked ad nauseum about how much I love Gilmore Girls on this blog. Friday the 13th is a remake, kind of reimagining of the 1980 original classic film. I liked Friday the 13th. I think I did. What I found really interesting is that this film is a direct sequel to the first one. So it's not really, it takes place after that first film. And I found that really cool. And there's a lot of really nice nods to fans of the series. If you've seen a lot of these films, I mean, I've seen probably 3 or 4, and there were a number of references that I caught within the film. But at the end of the day, I think you can throw as much fan service and you can pander to your audience and the horror nerds as much as you want, but I don't think that makes for a great film. I think this film's okay. I think it's very serviceable and passable, and my problems with this film come from not necessarily this film specifically, but from the slasher horror genre in general. It is by the numbers a slasher horror film, and I've been reading a lot of reviews of this film from horror critics, and they're like, it's great, it's a classic slasher film. And I guess after I've seen a lot of, well, first of all, this is nowhere near as bad as a lot of American horror films that have been coming out. It's not great, but it's not special. It doesn't really add anything. I wanted more. After seeing films like The Descent, the new Dawn of the Dead, the Zack Snyder, James Gunn, Dawn of the Dead, fantastic. When I've seen horror films, 28 Days Later comes to mind. When I've seen horror films with really intelligent characters that I've connected with, and I was like, if I was in that situation, I probably would be reacting the way they are. And that's not the case with this film and a lot of slasher films. First of all, every single character across the board is pretty much despisable, and you want them to die from the second they step on screen. And there is a joy in that. I mean, I love horror films. I'm a big horror buff, but I wanted something more. I really just, it was by the numbers, it was serviceable, it was passable. It's not a desecration to the Friday the 13th genre, the Friday the 13th franchise, which has some fucking terrible movies. So this film couldn't ruin that franchise, even if it tried. Was this movie scary? Because I often forget that some people do go to see horror films to be scared, and I definitely didn't go into this film expecting to be scared, and I wasn't. If there were any scares in this film, they were all jump scares. It was, a fucking cat! A cat jumps across the screen or something like that. I think we've seen Jason Voorhees so many times, time and time again. He really isn't that scary anymore. I did like the Jason in this film, though. I thought the character, he's not as stupid as he once was. He's kind of smart, actually, in this film, which I thought was cool, kind of shying away from the retarded version of Jason, which I do not like. This film's okay. I liked it. I gave Friday the 13th a 3 out of 5. I don't think it's great. I think I had a much better time watching My Bloody Valentine in 3D, which was terrible and fun and in 3D, and it was gory. I thought there were some okay kills in Friday the 13th. I didn't have a good time, though. I didn't have the good time I had watching My Bloody Valentine. I think people went into this expecting something much more legitimate and cool and scary, and it's completely homogenous, and it's exactly like every other slasher film you've seen ever. If you liked me talking about Friday the 13th on Wednesday, head over to nitpicket.com, that's nitpicket.com, and check out my podcast, because this week we talk about Friday the 13th. Me and my buddy Ryan sit down and we also talk about the new volume of Scott Pilgrim, an amazing comic book drawn by Brian Lee O'Malley. So tune in on Wednesday to check that out. Also check out dampercast.com. That's DAMPERCAST.com. I believe the links are going to be over here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.